Welcome back to Tyrion Cuthbert, attorney of the Arcane. When we last left off, we were about to try and persuade our man here. Might be able to convince the commander to give me some information on the case. He seems to have a personal grudge against me. If I can clear the air, maybe he'll help me. Alright, before attempting to persuade someone, help to find out more about them. Can build a psychological profile of someone by talking with them or by presenting them with evidence that they react to. Unlocking someone's psychological profile will give you a clue on which dialogue options will be most effective during persuasions. Let's do it. Essentially, you get a motivation to explore all the talk options and present options, which is a really neat touch, I think. Okay, psychological profile. Extremely stubborn and stuck in his ways. He will dismiss rational criticism if it doesn't match with his preconceived notions. Has a grudge against Ruby Tamora, so distancing yourself from her will be effective. He will react negatively if you try to defend her. However, he will respect you if you defend yourself from a personal attack. Okay, what's the deal, Commander? I understand not wanting to help the defense in this case. But do you have a problem with me? You know exactly why I have a problem with you. What does your boss not tell you what she gets up to? Okay, don't defend... Okay, distance. Let's deflect. Regardless of what Mr. Moore has done, I'm the one heading this case. Whatever problems you have with her, they have nothing to do with me. Ooh. A plus? That doesn't change the fact that she's helping you. Why would I ever trust you? Don't play dumb with me. Someone like you would know how Tamora operates. You've heard the rumors, haven't you? That woman plays with the justice system like a fiddle. Oh. Remember what the controls are here. No. Okay, we don't want to defend her. What do I do to make that text look extra big? One thing that'd be nice to see, that'd be nice to have it go back to his last dialogue. There's scroll. Plays justice like a fiddle. Okay, so I'm really playing the system must be doing a terrible job. Okay, let's rationalize this time. You know that the evidence is heavily stacked against my client. I'm really playing the system, and I must be doing a terrible job. Guess you got a point there. No, you know what? Cut the crap, kid. You're trying to trick me with your sincere act, aren't you? That's what I expect from someone taught by her. This feels like a winner already. This feels like a winner already. This might be the case where we defend ourselves. This might be, because like the profile says, that's become a personal attack. This might get him, this might end the conversation. Down to these two. Okay, let's see. He has not trusted us from the beginning. Alright. Have you stopped to consider that you're wrong about me? I'm not some con man trying to scam you. I wouldn't be trying to talk to you so sincerely if I was. You just want some info, right? Yes, that's all I'm asking for. Fine, I'll throw you a bone. Just don't make me regret this. You won't. Alright, persuaded. So, you want some info on the case, right? I don't know what to tell you, kid. Even with that hiccup during the trial day, this case seems pretty open and shut. Was there anything off about the crime scene during the night of the murder? Well, there was a blackout throughout the week. A blackout? Seems a maid girl paid someone to set up some artificery in the inn. There's an arcane generator in the basement that powers a bunch of magical lights at the inn. Problem is that the generator was broken for the last week. Oh yeah, I should probably also mention the bottle. Bottle? There's this weird bottle shattered next to the body. Probably nothing, but it looks foreign. Ain't no drink I've ever heard of. Alright, thanks. Yeah. Shattered piece of a glass bottle? Because the power is off. Let's travel. Oh, hi, Mr. Cuthbert. And no need to act so formal. Just call me Tyrion. Okay. I have some questions about the case. Can you help me answer them? Okay, I'll do anything I can to help. Okay. It does feel weird that... I'll be back. Nothing else for us here. Okay, I'm just checking. To see. The door to the cell. A guard had to let me in. It's a window. The bars prevent prisoners from escaping. Though I doubt Celeste would be the kind of person to try something like that. You say that some torches in here? Can't imagine what it'd be like to be stuck here in pitch black darkness. Okay. Anyways, apologies. You were amazing today. I would have never guessed that was your first trial. Thanks, but it's not over yet. But I still don't understand. Why were there traces of magic on my dad's body? Did you cast Mage Blade on your sword that day? I did. I have to use it a lot in my line of work, so I try to practice with it every day. Did the trace on my sword leave the magical trace on my dad's body? No, the second law of magic doesn't work like that. For a spell to leave a trace, the spell has to be active when physical contact is made. What does that mean then? That means that the murder weapon had a transmutation spell active on it at the time. Magical traits on your sword was just a lucky coincidence for the real killer. I can't believe this. Could you tell me more about your father? Sorry, I know this must be hard for you after everything that's happened. No, it's okay. If it helps you do your job, I'll do my best to answer your questions. Were you two close? We were. I'm sure you know by now, but I'm adopted. Even though I didn't have his blood, he loved me so much. He spoiled me a lot as a kid. We were inseparable until... Until what? She's talking about the argument that they had. Could you tell me more about the argument you had with your father? Sorry, I should have told you I'd missed more about what happened. For as long as I can remember, my dad has hated mages. Because of that, I never told my family that I could use magic. They didn't know. I've been keeping my abilities hidden for my entire life. That all changed when my dad found my spell compendium. I'm not sure why, but if you so much as mentioned magic around him, he'd fly into a rage. It'd take forever to calm him down when he got like that. But despite that, you still created a spell compendium. If you really wanted to, you could have gone your whole life without using magic. Ever since our inn closed, my family's been in a lot of debt. I decided to become a mercenary and use my magic to enhance my sword fighting. Wait, you're a mercenary? Most mages are in the nobility. So people will pay a lot for a sellsword who can use magic. I make quite a lot of gold from that. Wow, I never knew that. It's... Looking at the industry, it's free real estate. When my dad found out that I could use magic, he flew into one of his rages. He yelled at me and told me that I'd betrayed him and his family. I know deep down that I lost whatever love he had for me that night. Don't say that, I'm sure he still loved you. No, I could see it in his eyes. He hated me. And he died hating me. It feels like Tyrion reacts to those little internal monologues. Does he? Nothing. Looks like that'd be worth talking about at least. Oh, locked door. It's the locked room upstairs in the tavern. I'm sure the knight searched it already, but I wanted to investigate it myself to make sure. A locked room upstairs? Oh, that's probably my room. Do you know how I could get in there? I'm trying to search the entire tavern for clues. What's that look for? I'm your lawyer. I'm not gonna do anything weird. Sorry, you're right. You can use this to unlock the door. Ah, Celeste room key. There's no reason to persuade her. Okay. What the? I've already told you knights everything I know. What more do you... Oh. You're the lawyer from that trial. Mom, I am. Who are you? I'm sorry. I'm Jolene. I'm Celeste's mother. I was at the trial this morning. I can't thank you enough for everything that you've done for my daughter. So this is Celeste's mother. You might be able to tell me more about what happened the night of the murder. I am. Alright. Bernard? I was talking to Celeste earlier, and I have a few questions. Can you tell me why your husband hated mages so much? still can't make sense of why he was so angry at Celeste. Oh, you heard about that, didn't you? I wasn't there when their argument happened, but I can only imagine what he said to her. Their argument must have gotten really heated if your neighbors overheard it. I understand that most people dislike the nobility. But it's like he was furious at Celeste specifically because she was able to use magic. Celeste doesn't know this, but Flintheart had a sister named Effie. When we were all children, we were friends with the son of the ruling noble. Like that, he'd always sneak into town to play with us. His family probably wasn't happy about that. He had quite the rebellious streak back then. Nothing like he is now. Everything changed when he began learning magic. One day, when we were playing together, he wanted to show off what he'd learned. He was told never to use magic without his instructor being there. He was just too excited. He began showing us all of the spells he could cast, but something went horribly wrong. He lost control of one of his spells and wounded Effie really badly. I tried bringing her back into town, but by then it was too late. She was already gone. I'm sorry. That must have been hard for all of you. The next day, the Arcane Inquisition came to investigate what had happened. The boy's family used their influence to make them look the other way. They threatened Flintheart's family to keep quiet about what had happened. Wow, I can't imagine how Flintheart took that. He was furious. After that day, something changed inside of him. A few years after that incident, he began speaking out against the nobility. Every night he'd rally more and more people for his cause. The amount of people that he'd gotten under his banner was terrifying. There's even talk of an outright revolution against the kingdom. That might explain why someone would go out of their way to kill him. If only I'd done more. I'd be able to quell that hatred in his heart. Don't say that, I'm sure you did everything you could. What? Sorry, I must have been thinking out loud. Okay, yeah, you're definitely reacting to stuff that people are thinking. You've got some sort of telepathy going on here. I'm intrigued. And Celeste? So Celeste is able to use magic. That can only mean that she has the blood of a noble. That's what you're getting at, right? Sorry, I know it's not any of my business, but can you tell me about how she became part of your family? Easy for me to say. No, I suppose you deserve to know that much after everything you've done for her. It was many years ago, back when the McCoy Inn was still open. We were closing one night and we found a baby with white hair abandoned in the dining area. We waited weeks for her parents to come by, but no one ever came looking for her. And that baby was Celeste. Yes. I had always wanted a child. So I thought that Celeste must have been a gift from the gods. One day I saw Celeste practicing magic. And that's when I realized that someone from the nobility must have abandoned her at our inn. I didn't care, though. I loved her all the same. Wait, you knew that she was a mage the entire time? My daughter's a terrible liar. Flintheart must have noticed too, but I think that he didn't want to believe it. I blame myself for not forcing him to see the truth. If he hadn't found out the way he did, things might not have turned out like this. It is sad. He could put aside his own... It is awful when their personal grudges overwhelm a familial love that is clearly still there. Celeste thinks her dad died hating her. Oh, Celeste. There's no way he would ever feel that way. He loved her more than anything in the world. Nothing could ever change that. Yeah, I figured as much. He spoiled that girl rotten when she was growing up. She was the world to him. It was the first time in decades I'd seen him so genuinely happy. must have been really close. More than anything. Do you want to hear a story? A few weeks ago, Celeste returned from a trip abroad. She wouldn't stop talking about this foreign drink that she loved. I think it was called lotus juice or something strange like that. Well, Flintheart did everything he could to have it shipped here, and called in a bunch of favors with some friends. But in the end, he was only able to get a single bottle of it. Is it really that rare? Yes, I wouldn't be surprised if it were the only bottle of lotus juice in the region. Wait a minute, lotus juice? Is this the bottle that Flintheart brought? What? Oh no, he was going to surprise her with it. I found it shattered in the dining area. That's strange. He'd been keeping it in our room so Celeste wouldn't find it. Really? When was the last time you saw it? Right before I left the house that night. Wait, so that must mean... What is funny about the bottle? Argued with the bottle. Attack the bottle. When the murder occurred. That feels like the most reasonable timing. I don't see how it plays into that, but... It could also be that Flintheart shattered the bottle during the argument. No. The bottle was in their room right before she left that day. It could have shattered at some point after that. It was next to the body, too. Before she left for the day. Which means... we had Flintheart and Celeste. And then Flintheart and the murderer. This one's not quite as clear as the first one. Or maybe we're going after something like this. He had the bottle on him before the argument. No. Oh, when the murder occurred. Yeah. Okay. Okay, it wasn't obvious, but the answer makes sense. And you can get there if you think about it enough. Okay. Right! The bottle was shattered next to the body. It didn't break at any time before Jolene left that day. So Flintheart must have been holding it and dropped it when he was murdered. Why would he move Celeste's gift? Alright, shattered bottle of lotus juice. I think I have a better picture of what happened that night. I should be ready for the trial tomorrow. There's one last thing that I need to take care of. I need to talk to Celeste again. Yeah, just checking. Hi, boss. Oh, you're back. Did you forget something? There's one last thing that I need to talk to you about. Oh? When you spoke earlier, you said something that I just can't let go. You said that your father died hating you. For everything I heard about him, I just can't believe that. Ooh. I know they're just trying to make me feel better, and I appreciate that. Everyone knows that my father hated mages. I was his daughter and I hid my powers from him. I betrayed his trust. During our argument, I could see it in his eyes. He was so hurt and angry. In his final moments, but all he could think about was how much I'd betrayed him. Even now, she still thinks her father hated her. This continues, that thought will eat away at her for the rest of her life. I'll prove her wrong. Argument is just like a cross-examination. I just need to dissect the statements that she made and find the piece of evidence that contradicts her. Yeah. Objection. Did you just shout objection? Sorry about that. Force of habit. Anyways, take a look at this picture, Celeste. What? It's a bottle of lotus juice. Do you know where I found this? It was on the floor of your family's inn. What? There's no way! They don't sell it anywhere close in this region. Believe me, I tried everything I could to get my hands on some. Your father knew how much you loved that drink. Called in quite a few favors just to have it imported for you. What? He did that? Your father loved you, Celeste. That doesn't change anything. He did all that for me. It was before he found my spell compendium. I'm sure he never would have done that if he knew the truth about me. That's not true at all. What would you know about my dad? You never even met him. Could you possibly know how he felt about me? Don't you think I want to believe that he still loved me before he died? But I know the truth. There's no way he would ever forgive me for what I did. Oh. It's not just the fact that he bought that drink for you. It's also where the bottle was when it was shattered. It was right next to his body on the crime scene. So, what does that prove? Mother said that the bottle was stowed in her room before your argument. Father was hiding it to surprise you later. So how did the bottle end up shattered near the crime scene? I don't know. Did your father have the bottle during your argument? No, he didn't. And that can only mean one thing. He took the bottle and had it with him after your argument ended. What? Why would he do that? Was he trying to apologize for the argument? It was because he was going to give it to you. He was going to give you a gift to apologize for how he acted. He was going to apologize? Your father loved you, Celeste. And as tragic as it is, he was going to apologize to you before he was murdered. Dad. Dad. I'm sorry. I can't believe How could I ever think that? Do you feel better? Do you feel better now? Yeah, I think I'm okay now. I can't believe this entire time I was saying such awful things about him and myself. I should have known better. I wonder what he'd say to me if he saw me like this. Take some time to rest. The trial resumes in an hour. Oh wow. Right, I almost forgot that. Is everything really going to be okay? There's no doubt about it. With me and Miss Tamora in your corner, we can't lose. Okay, put my trust in you. Oh. Alright, we'll save. Protect this girl. You're gonna make me defend the rest of the trial alone? Cuthbert, you need to calm down. How am I supposed to do this without you, Miss Tamora? Do you expect me to hold your hand through every trial? You need to learn how to do this on your own. There's too much riding on this trial. There's going to be a lot riding on most of the trials you defend. I know that you're emotionally invested in this client. That's exactly why I know that you can do this on your own. Do you really think I'm ready to go at this alone? There's no doubt in my mind. Alright. Then I'll trust your judgment. Good. I'll be watching from the gallery. Fair enough. Celeste! Sorry, I know what I said before. Don't worry. I also believe in you, Tyrion. Aw. Seems like a lot of people have high expectations of me. I won't let them down. Oh. Court is now resumed for the trial of Celeste McCoy. Yesterday, the judge presented some shocking oversights. The defense presented some shocking... I'm the judge. I didn't present these oversights, the defense did. The defense presented some shocking oversights made during the investigation of the crime scene. Yes, I personally saw to it that the crime scene was investigated properly. I'd certainly hope so. At yesterday's trial, the defense presented an inconsistency between the crime scene photo and the autopsy report. Because of this, they made the following proposition. A third party must have interfered with the crime scene and framed the defendant. However, the individual who discovered the body would like to testify as to what he saw that night. Interesting. It's my understanding that the witness in question wanted to remain anonymous. Apparently, this witness was within the gallery of the trial yesterday. After what he saw, he felt that he couldn't stay silent any longer. I don't like this. Why would he change his mind like that? Very well. Let us hear this witness's testimony. Get right down to it. Hello there, friend. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court. My name is Reese Rudolph. I'm a carriage driver. It is my understanding that you found the body. Am I correct, Mr. Rudolph? Actually, I witnessed much more than that. I saw the crime as it was being committed. What? That is quite the claim. That's true. Why have you chosen to remain silent until now? We had initially concluded that the evidence itself was decisive. Therefore, we saw no need at the time for eyewitness testimony. However, those circumstances clearly changed after yesterday's proceedings. There's no way the prosecution wouldn't leverage eyewitness testimony from the get-go. Something else is happening here. Very well. Mr. Rudolph, please testify to the court about what you saw last night. That night. Of course. What do you have to say to us? Transporting a client in my carriage that evening, we were driving by the McCoy Tavern when we heard a disturbance. I was worried that something was amiss, so I walked into the establishment to see what the commotion was about. There I saw the defendant, lit by the blue glow of the dining room lights. She had stabbed Finhart McCoy with her sword. She slowly pulled her sword from Finhart's chest. He turned around to face her. She stabbed him again from the front. Soon she realized that I had witnessed her heinous crime. She fled the scene through the back door. I wonder what the contradiction is here. Incredible. Everything occurred as witness described, then I see no room for debate. Of course, the evidence is irrefutable. Celeste, have you ever met this man before? No, this is my first time seeing him. After my argument with my dad, I left the inn through the front door. No one was standing there. Which means that he's definitely lying about seeing Celeste from the entrance. The defense may now begin their cross-examination. Thank you, Raspy Judge. Boom. The argument cut in is terrifying. Bright eyes. Hold it. Slap. Who was the passenger in your carriage? Ah, well... Objection. The identity of the passenger is irrelevant. The current witness is the one who actually observed the crime as it occurred. Objection. If there was another person at the crimes at the scene, they may also have crucial testimony. The passenger is under no obligation to testify before the court. The current witness's account of the events is more than adequate. That's enough. I see no reason for the witness to disclose the identity of their client. Unless the defense can present a more valid reason to do so, they will leave it at that. Darn, it didn't work. But there has to be a reason why Stewart is so determined to keep the passenger's identity a secret. Hold it. You stopped your carriage in the middle of a jump. What did your passenger think of this? He had no quarrel with it. What kind of passenger would be okay with being stopped mid-drive? Objection. The passenger's reaction to this course of events is irrelevant to the testimony, unless you have any hard evidence to prove otherwise. Now then, please tell us what you saw inside, Mr. Rudolph. You were sure that you saw my client and the victim. How are you so sure of their identities? Flintheart McCoy and his daughter were well known with the town. Flintheart made himself quite known in the region through his social activism, and he made quite a point of bragging about his daughter to anyone who would listen. Do you live in the same town as the McCoys? No, but I visit quite frequently. Objection. The witness's place of residence has no bearing on his testimony. What matters was that he was there when the murder occurred. Fair enough. So you're saying that my client stabbed him twice with her sword? Yes, that's exactly what I saw. But for that to be true, my client would have to have stabbed him through the same wound. After all, there's only one visible wound on the body. Wouldn't it be strange to do something like that? It's possible the sword took the path of least resistance when she stabbed him the second time. Fair enough, but that's really far-fetched, but I won't get anywhere unless I can prove that he's lying. And you'd let her get away. I'm a modest carriage driver. I have no way of combating someone that's armed with a sword. The witness also saw the defendant using magic. Any reasonable person wouldn't attempt to stop an armed mage. There's no way that creep saw me stabbing my father. He's definitely lying. But why? First I'll come up with a detailed story before coming to court. Those false details make it all the easier for me to find a contradiction. Alright. Obvious answer here. No energy. Objection. So, Mr. Rudolph, you testified that you saw my client at the scene, stabbing the victim with her sword. What's more, you claim to have seen her performing magic while doing so. Did you see all of this clearly? Yes. I could never forget such a grisly sight. I see. There is one problem with your testimony, though. Oh? And what is that? Everything you've just said. It's a complete lie. Call back to the intro. What? Are you accusing the witness of perjury, defense lawyer? You should know better than to make baseless claims like that. My claim is far from baseless, Prosecutor Steelwind. As I'm sure you know, that McCoy Inn relies solely on artificery for its lighting. Every light in that inn receives power from an arcane generator. However, on the night of the murder, that generator wasn't functional. The lights couldn't have possibly been on. Objection. There could have easily been another light source like a torch or a candle. wouldn't have had his argument with the defendant in pitch-black darkness. While this may be true, the witness clearly stated that he saw a blue glow in the dining room lights. A torch or candle wouldn't emit a distinct glow like that. I love that expression. I love that angry expression. What? I don't understand. I was sure that I saw a blue glow that night. Wait, what did he just say? Wait, I think I understand it now. What is it, witness? I must have made the incorrect assumption. Please allow me to give my testimony once more. What do you think of this, Prosecutor Steelwind? If the witness wants to revise his testimony, then I see no harm in obliging him. Very well. And you, Mr. Cuthbert? If he thinks he saw something different, then let's hear him out. No matter how many revisions he makes, I'll tear through his lies with evidence. Hell yeah, Tyrion. It was revealed that Flintheart was killed using magic, yes? You must have seen Flintheart's daughter channeling a magic spell. The spell was called Mageblade, am I correct? That's it. The blue glow that I saw must have been created by Mageblade. That's actually a good rebuttal. Fair play to you. I see. So the blue illumination that you saw was produced by the defendant's magic. Mr. Cuthbert, you may proceed with your cross-examination. With pleasure. Naturally sharp. Yellow radiant glow. Aha! Are you changing your testimony based on yesterday's trial, Mr. Rudolph? I assure you, that's not what I'm doing. It's just that the revelations from yesterday help me understand what exactly I saw. Now you're saying that you saw my client channeling magic. Wouldn't that be pretty noticeable? The witness is of the common folk. Furthermore, the defendant's magical ability wasn't known to most until the night of the murder. What reason would the witness have to think that he was witnessing magic? He would just think that the sword was wreathed in a glow by some other means. The last part is a bit far-fetched, but I can't really refute it right now. You seem uncertain about the spell that you supposedly saw my client use. How can we trust the rest of your testimony? The witness has no knowledge of the arcane arts. It doesn't matter if he was unable to identify the specific spell. The only thing that matters is that he clearly saw some instance of magic. Won't get anywhere unless I can prove that he didn't see Mageblade. Alright. You still don't sound so sure of it yourself. I wasn't sure of it myself. But then I discovered that Flintheart was killed using magic yesterday. It's really so hard to believe that I didn't realize magic was being used in front of me. I suppose not. Not that I believe you. He's just telling lie after lie. He's trying to cover for himself. I'm sure he's just making things up on the spot now. Looks like he barely knows how magic even works. Do you think we could use that somehow? Good thinking. After the spell compendium? Objection. Mr. Rudolph, you don't know much about magic, do you? No, I know nothing about it at all. Are you still trying to claim that I should have recognized the defendant's spell? No, actually. I acknowledge that you know nothing about the spell, Mageblade. And that is exactly what your mistake was. My mistake? Uh-oh. Oh, is this a jam? Upbeat piano music? Hell yeah. You see, Mr. Rudolph, Mageblade does emit a magical glow. However, that magical glow is yellow, not blue. Objection. So what if the witness was incorrect about the glow's color? Let's revealing a small detail of his testimony. I find it hard to believe that the witness was unsure about the light's color. He said multiple times that the illumination was colored blue. In fact, it's the only detail that persisted between both versions of his testimony. I must agree. The witness was quite adamant about seeing a blue light. What does this mean, Mr. Cuthbert? It's a given that Rudolph lied about seeing Celeste kill Flintheart. Why did he specifically say that he saw a blue-colored light? It seems like a really strange and unnecessary detail to add in. So, Mr. Cuthbert, did the witness see a blue-colored light or not? He saw it. There's only one answer that makes sense. The witness did see a blue light created by a spell. We've already established that Mage Blade doesn't emit a blue-colored light. What do you... No. I think you already know where I'm going with this, Prosecutor Steelwind. The witness definitely saw a spell that emitted a blue-colored light. And it was created by a spell. That's not Mage Blade. Well, then which spell was it? Which spell did the witness see, Mr. Cuthbert? I don't know which spell he saw, Your Honor. And frankly, I don't need to. Just take a look at my client's spell compendium. Mage Blade is the only spell that she can use. And that spell can't emit a blue-colored light. If the witness saw a magical blue light, then that can only mean one thing. There was another mage at the scene who magically created that light. I do love that court scene, because it literally looks like a far-off shot from an actual anime. That's how good that is. Order the court. So what did you really see, Mr. Rudolph? Did you see my client at the scene, casting a spell that she couldn't possibly cast? Did you see another mage there? Well... Let me remind you that perjury is a crime, Mr. Rudolph. If you're found to be lying on the stand, you will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. No, wait, please. Now that is quite enough of that. I will not stand by while you harass my driver. Who? It's Lord Pierce. What's he doing here? Pierce, we discussed this. There's no need for you to take the stand. Nonsense. I have nothing to hide. If you had done your job properly, I wouldn't need to intervene. What is the meaning of this, Prosecutor Steelwind? Who is this man? This is Garrick Pierce, Your Honor. He is the heir to the Pierce noble house. That is Lord Garrick Pierce to you. In any case, I must apologize. Confusion brought by today's proceedings has been entirely my fault. What do you mean? You see, this carriage driver wasn't the one who witnessed the crime that fateful night. It was me. I was the one who witnessed that heinous crime. I had my driver report the body so that I could remain anonymous. I simply dictated to him what I saw and had him repeat that to law enforcement. It simply wouldn't do for a member of the nobility to appear in court, after all. Lord Pierce, regardless of your intention, that is a very clear act of perjury. I understand. Accept the consequences of that. But I would be remiss if Rudolph's shoddy testimony allowed that girl to escape her crime. Please let me testify as to what I saw. Very well. This is quite irregular, but I believe that the court will benefit from hearing your testimony. However, know that this misconduct has severely harmed your credibility. Very well. Okay, what do you have for us? Oh boy, Allegro time. Hell yeah. Headbanging aggressively. On that fateful night, I found myself unable to sleep, so I went on a leisurely carriage ride around the town to see how the other half lives. Ah, yes, the misery of the common folk lulls me to sleep like a peaceful lullaby. Oh, ho, 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 ho. I happened to be passing by the McCoy Tavern when I heard a loud commotion from within the building. Curious, I stopped my carriage and took a single step inside the establishment. Then I saw the scene inside. I saw the defendant stabbing that poor man. Garrick Pierce. He's a member of the nobility. Means he's probably a mage, right? He's the only other mage that was there that night. Does that mean... Yeah, I think so. He's the person who killed your father. Are you going to be okay? Yeah, don't worry about me. Just focus on exposing him. Gladly. Let's go, punk. Headbanging. It seems like a strange way to pass the time. Not that I believe you for a second. The witness's eccentricities are besides the point. Matters is that he was clearly at the scene. I wouldn't quite face it quite like that. But, nevertheless... I'm guessing that this commotion was the argument between my client and the victim. One would conclude that, yes... Reports say that they both became quite loud. The witness could have definitely heard them from his carriage. I guess that story does check out. Fair enough. If he was at the tavern entrance, that would mean he was here, where the W is. And Flintheart's body would be where the V is. We saw the entire scene of the tavern entrance. It would be quite dark considering the lights weren't operational. Even if my client were using Mage Blade at the time. Ah, of course, I'd forgotten that detail. The light was quite dim, so I used my magic to illuminate the scene. You used magic at the crime scene? Yes, I conjured a blue light to illuminate the scene. That same blue light must have been what my driver saw. I thought Mr. Rudolph didn't witness the crime. I had to guess Rudolph saw the magical light when he was waiting at the carriage. Must have accidentally made that a part of his testimony earlier. It actually makes a lot of sense now that I think about it. Rudolph was so sure that he saw a blue light. It would be strange if he was lying about that. But, anyways, which spell did you use? It was the Conjure Light spell. Duration of the spell, a mode of magical light appears in the caster's hand. The color of the light is chosen by the caster can be changed at will for the spell's duration. The 15 feet of the caster, no further. Your Honor, if the witness used magic at the crime scene, then I'd like to formally request that his spell compendium be added to the court record. Objection. The prosecution sees no reason to invade the witness's privacy over a trivial illumination spell. I agree. Events would need a stronger reason to requisition the witness's spell compendium. Right you are, Your Honor. Your wisdom is truly fitting of your station. Oh, shut up. Why is he so determined to keep his compendium out of the court record? If we get access to it, we can see exactly which spells he can use. It'll make it a lot easier for us to build a case against him. Regardless, I must request that the witness add this detail to his testimony. Of course. So, this room was 5 feet by... Oh wait, one square is 5 feet by 5 feet. Big room. I think that's what we have to present here. He's at the tavern entrance. That would mean he was here where the W is, and that's what the V is. Casting stuff like that would be a pretty significant detail to forget. For you, maybe. But for a practiced mage like myself, using magic is as natural as moving my arm. guess he has a point. I wouldn't know what it's like to be a mage. I suppose you're going to say that she stabbed him from the opposite side, from opposite sides each time. Yes, I do recall seeing that happen. Yeah, right. This guy's definitely the real murderer. Means there has to be a lie somewhere in his testimony. You're saying that he stood at the entrance the entire time. Yeah, he's trying to place himself away from where the murder actually took place. But if he really killed my father, then he would have had to have been further in. Right. Is there any way that I can prove that he was closer to the body? Okay. So conjure light, 15 feet, and the hall is much bigger than that. False! Your Honor, this piece of evidence proves the witness is nothing but a liar. I fail to see how that piece of evidence proves your claim. Oh, I guess you're right. Please refrain from making baseless claims, Mr. Cuthbert. Well, I guess that didn't work. Okay, conjure light. You said that you illuminated the entire scene from the tavern entrance. You didn't take a single step into the building. Of course not. I remember it very clearly. I stood only at the entrance. Witness, I'd like for you to take a look at the map of the tavern. Take a look at this diagram. That would place you where this W is, correct? Of course, that's exactly where I was. What of it? I just find it interesting that you said you illuminated the crime scene from there. Considering that conjure light only illuminates an area within 15 feet. What? If you were truly at the tavern entrance, then the light from your spell wouldn't reach far enough to illuminate my client. Objection. That hardly makes a difference. We've already established that the defendant would have been illuminated by Mage Blade. If the light from Mage Blade was adequate, then the witness wouldn't have had a reason to cast Conjure Light in the first place. Well, which is it then? Lord Pierce, did you illuminate the crime scene or not? Well, I can answer that question for you, Your Honor. He did. No, Your Honor. In fact, it's one of the only truths he's told so far. Garrick Pierce did see the scene of the crime. He saw it because he was standing within 15 feet of it. Hold on for a moment. I merely made a mistake. I could have used any spell to illuminate farther than 10 feet. Then please, enlighten me, Lord Pierce. Which spell did you use? The name escapes me. Now that I think about it, I'm not sure which spell I used. You idiot. Well, we can take a good look for you. When you relinquish your spell compendium to the court. Steel windows. This is a clear violation of my privacy. Why aren't you objecting to this, Steel Wind? I see no reason to object to the defense's request. Oh, what? She's not objecting. What is she planning? If you had listened to my instructions, you wouldn't be in this situation. You've made your bed, now lie in it. Steward, you treacherous! That's enough. It appears that the prosecution has no objections. With everything that has occurred, I must ask that Lord Pierce relinquish his spell compendium to the court. Ooh, oh wow. Conjure light, conjure water, control winds, frost wave, and shape liquid. Prestidignation. Oh wow. Prestidignation? Character creates a simple and harmless visual effect around their hand. Concentration on the spell. Conjure water. Control winds. Frost wave. Shape liquid. Oh, wow. Good job, Tyrion. Get a spell compendium. That's a lot of magic. No incantation, one-handed movement, 10 liters of liquid, range 30 feet. Oh, shit. Ice stabby. Stoic as always, isn't she? She didn't object to adding Pierce's spell compendium to the court record. And she seems pretty calm right now. What does she have up her sleeve? I've reviewed the spells in Lord Pierce's compendium. We'll get back to that next time. Until then, thanks for watching. Okay, let's continue, shall we? Let's finish this first case, which I think is the entirety of the demo, but we shall see. We'll see how much we have left, actually. We've got Lord Pierce on the stand now. And I gotta say, this case has really played really well as a first trial sort of case, where it's where the first culprit is obvious, where the logic isn't too difficult, and like I say, a bit fast-paced trial-wise, but it's not too. Just saying, I'm really enjoying so far. Really enjoying so far. I say not the most difficult to figure out, but I think the only point that got me was that second deduction choice, where I had to figure out what it meant that the bottle was right by the victim's body, which I'm gonna say maybe could have been led into a bit more, but then again, I'm a bit smooth-brained, so perhaps I just overthought it. Once it clicked, the answer was obvious, but alas, here we go. So we jumped into the second trial. We quickly debunked the driver's testimony, and now Lord Pierce has put himself on the stand. And he has given up his spell compendium, unwillingly. So, I found that Conjure Light is the only spell that Lord Pierce can cast that would shed a blue light, which renders many of his statements false. Ugh. Your Honor, Garrick Pierce could very well be a suspect in the murder of Flintheart McCoy. He's committed perjury and has admitted to being at the scene of the crime when the crime took place. The defense posits that this presents enough reasonable doubt to acquit Celeste McCoy. I do find Lord Pierce's involvement in this case quite suspect. However, I will not pass a verdict just yet. I had a feeling this would happen. Wait, what? I thought that it would be enough to prove that someone else could have done it. Isn't there enough reasonable doubt? For a normal case, maybe. But the public won't accept an unsolved murder that was committed using magic. Someone has to be found guilty so that the justice system can save face. We have to prove that you definitely couldn't have committed this murder. Or we need to prove that someone else did it. I like how you go. I like that explanation. What? What? That's not fair! The system is corrupt to its core. This is just the world we live in. I know that fact better than anyone. I will, however, move to suspend the trial of Celeste McCoy. We will resume once Lord Pearson is investigated as a possible suspect. Objection. A possible suspect. Don't make me laugh, Your Honor. Damn it, what's she up to now? Let me remind the court of the basic facts of the case. Flintheart McCoy was murdered using a blade with a transmutation spell active on it. Defense lawyer, why don't you tell me the spells that Lord Pierce knows? Oh. Spells are Prestidignation, Conjure Light, Conjure Water, Control Winds, Frost Wave, and Shape Liquid. So, you see it too. Lord Pierce doesn't know any spells that can be channeled through a blade. That can't be right. Aha, you're right. You're absolutely right, Lady Steelwind. No, I was so close. I see. So Lord Pierce doesn't know any spells that could have been used to commit the murder. That leaves the defendant as the only possible killer. That does change things. But he was the only other mage there. It has to be him. But he doesn't know any transmutation spells that can affect a solid object. I mean... he does know a transmutation spell. We can't prove that he stabbed him using magic. Wait, how did he do it then? She's right, how did he do it? None of his transmutation spells can affect the metal blade. That doesn't change the fact that he killed Flintheart using a transmutation spell. The defense did cast severe doubt on this witness's testimony. Nevertheless, I must conclude that he could not have possibly committed the murder. With that in mind, I must rule that... Objection! I feel like my voices have not been consistent through all 3 of these videos so far. Please wait, Your Honor. We still can't conclude that Lord Pierce couldn't have committed this crime. What desperate nonsense is this? Lady Steelwind said it herself, you commoner. You don't have any spells that can be channeled through a metal blade. But you didn't use a metal blade, did you? What? What are you saying? The autopsy report clearly states that the wound was created by a blade. If he didn't channel magic through a metal blade, then how could he have possibly committed this crime? Yes, your claim does seem quite contradictory with the facts thus far, Mr. Cuthbert. Which spell could Lord Pierce have used to kill the victim? It's obviously shaped liquid. You see, Your Honor, Garrick Pierce didn't kill the victim using a blade. He killed him using an object shaped exactly like a blade. Hell yeah. What? I'm afraid I don't understand what you mean, Mr. Cuthbert. I'd like to remind the court of the spells in Lord Pierce's spell compendium. Garrick Pierce knows a particularly nifty spell called Shape Liquid. With it, he can control a quantity of liquid and form it into any shape he desires. Then he can freeze that liquid, maintaining its current shape. A shape like a sword. No, it can't be. Is it possible that he... Admit it, Garrick Pierce. You created a makeshift sword using shape liquid and used it to impale Flintheart. Then you shoved Celeste's sword into the wound, while the remnants of the real murder weapon evaporated. It was the perfect crime, wasn't it? How? How dare you? You are nothing but a filthy commoner. I don't care who you are. I won't let you get away with murdering my client's father. Steelwind, why aren't you saying anything? Wow, this is the first time I've seen her this flustered. Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna look this gift horse in the mouth. Well, what do you have to say for yourself, Pierce? Hi. Oh, what? Lord Pierce, please pull yourself together. My apologies, Your Honor. Just that I realized something absolutely hilarious. Oh, what is it now? You put forward an interesting theory, Mr. Cuthbert, but there's one problem with it. And what's that? I think you said it yourself. You shoved the sword into the wound, while the remnants of the real murder weapon evaporated. It was the perfect crime, wasn't it? You see, it would have been the perfect crime. Because any evidence of it would have evaporated with that frozen blade. What? No. He's right. He used an ice blade to kill Flintheart. would have evaporated by now. And that means there would be nothing left of the murder weapon. Oh, did he use the lotus juice to do that? Oh no. You spun quite the tale here today. But in the end, you don't have a shred of evidence to support it, do you? You have nothing on me. No. Is there really nothing we can do? I'm sorry, Celeste. What? I failed you. It's okay. No. What? You were up against a noble, right? I don't think anyone could have done as well as you did today. Can't end like this. You're saying two different things. This is just the way things are, you know. Oh, he doesn't even know he's reading people's minds. But you gave me closure with my father. It's more than I could have ever asked for. There was so much I wanted to do. Please, someone. Don't give up, Tyrion. It's okay, Celeste. I can hear exactly what you're saying. Then, I won't let it end like this. What is this? You can glare at me all you want. It won't change the fact that you've lost. I won't ever let that happen again. Whoa! My head. That was close. Can't believe that lawyer almost found me out. What did you just say? What? I didn't say a thing. What is with this boy? He must be turning hysterical. I knew it. I can hear his thoughts. There it is. But how is that possible? No, never mind that. I have to focus. Nevertheless, I was too careless. I should have never used that bottle of water. Bottle of water? Right, he had to have gotten the water from somewhere. Wait, a bottle? Well then, as exciting as this has been, I must now take my leave. Objection! Not so fast, Pierce. What is it now, you wretch? I've already told you that there's no possible way to prove your theory. It holds no water. You're right, Pierce. It doesn't hold any water. And that's exactly why I can prove it. What? 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 Your Honor. The prosecution requests that we remove Mr. Cuthbert from the courtroom. He's clearly lost his mind. I agree. Well, wait, I swear I was going somewhere with this. I was just making a dumb joke, I promise. You see, if the Pierce used shaped liquid on a bottle of water, the murder weapon would have evaporated entirely. There'd be no evidence. And where are you going with this? Well, what if he didn't use water? What if he accidentally used another type of liquid? What are you going on about? Please, Pierce, shaped liquid doesn't just work on water. It works on all kinds of liquids. So what if you used shaped liquid on something that wouldn't evaporate entirely? What? Your Honor, I'd like to present the remains of what Garrick Pierce used shaped liquid on. That's the bottle of lotus juice. That's the bottle. That bottle. Pierce, I found this shattered bottle near where the body was. How do you suppose it broke? You would have decided to use any liquid you could find. Luckily for you, your victim was holding the perfect quantity of liquid. I wonder, Lord Pierce, if we had someone analyze the broken pieces of this bottle, would we find traces of transmutation magic? You little! That still proves nothing. So did you find traces of magic on some broken glass? You still don't have a murder weapon. I wasn't finished, Pierce. What? See, the liquid contained in that bottle wasn't water. It was soda. So what? How did the contents of that bottle change anything? A blade of ice made out of water would have evaporated entirely. But a blade of ice made out of soda would leave a puddle of dried residue. No. I wondered why there was such a circular trace of magic under the body. If we checked the outline of that trace, I bet we'd find a dried puddle of soda residue. That soda residue would still have traces of transmutation magic on it. That would definitely prove that you used shaped liquid at the crime scene. There's your murder weapon, Pierce. There it is. Order of the court. Orm, analyze the crime scene at once. We have to determine if this puddle of soda residue exists. The time window to find traces of magic is closing. Roy. So, our team found that soda puddle residue. In fact, the puddle lines up exactly with the trace of transmutation magic. Oh. We also checked the broken bottle. There were traces of magic on that, too. There's no doubt about it. Someone used magic on that soda. Oh. Nothing to say, Lord Pierce. This has to be some kind of joke, right? Afraid not, Pierce. What is this? What the hell is this? You will not treat me like some two-bit criminal. Do you have any idea who I am? I'm the heir of the Pierce noble house. I stand at the top of this kingdom's hierarchy. And you, defense lawyer, you're nothing but peasant trash. Who the hell do you think you are? You're right, Pierce. I am just a peasant. But you? You're just a murderer. Ooh, oh! And as long as I'm in this courtroom, I won't let anyone escape justice for their crimes. Guards, please escort Mr. Pierce to a holding cell. Yes. Guards, escort Lord Pierce at once. And that's that. I can't believe it! We actually won! Tyrion, It's fine. You don't have to say anything. Your face says it all. I can't thank you enough for everything you've done. You've more than exceeded my expectations today. Miss Tamura, I'll be honest. When I realized that the murder weapon evaporated, I thought that case was shot. Can't believe you were able to turn that around. I got lucky. If he used water, we would have been done for. You were able to deduce the liquid that he used just by looking at a few shards of broken glass. That's nothing to do with luck. Actually, about that. Nothing strange happened during the trial today. Near the end, it's like you could hear his thoughts. That's why I found out he used the bottle of lotus juice. What? You read his mind? Are you a mage too? I don't think it was magic. I never made a spell compendium after all. I didn't even perform any components. It just happened. Tyrion, you should keep this to yourself for now. Wait, why? Please, just trust me on this one. And if you say so. You are all quite lively. Oh. There's no need for such hostility. Though, I wouldn't expect any less from the Hound of the Eye Takers. Well, that's a menacing title. That's a menacing face. The Hound of the what now? But in any case, I came to apologize to you, Miss McCoy. What? The truth is, I was aware of Pierce's presence near the crime scene from the beginning. I acquired his spell compendium and looked through his spell list. I falsely concluded that he couldn't have committed this murder. would never imagined that he'd use a mundane spell like Shape Liquid to create a murder weapon. You can make all the excuses that you want. But at the end of the day, you obscure the investigation and almost put away an innocent girl. No, you're right. I won't deny what I did. It's okay, really. You were just doing your job, right? I'm not mad at you or anything. I am. She does seem genuinely sorry. She really does. I should know better than to trust people in this rotten system. Just know that the next time we meet in the courtroom, I'll fight with everything I have. I'll acquit each and every one of my clients, no matter who stands in my way. Oh, I'd love to see us get a guilty client. I'd love to see us end up with a Mad-on-Guard dilemma of some sort. Good. I look forward to doing battle with you again, Tyrion Cuthbert. What a strange woman. I like her. Well, that kind of killed the mood, didn't it? Not at all. I think we should celebrate. Oh, what did you have in mind? There's this amazing restaurant in the upper quarter of the capital city. They usually only serve nobles, but they'll let in anyone if they have. And they'll let anyone in if they have enough gold. Oh wait, do we have enough gold? Of course we do. Don't worry, I'll handle everything. Wait, just how much does Mr. Moore make? And so it began my journey into the world of law and the Arcane. Our justice system is rotten to its core, and I'll have many trials ahead. Regardless, I'll keep fighting on and get justice for each and every one of my clients. And when I'm finally ready, I'm going to appeal my mother's case. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, this was a draft episode 1. Okay. Yeah, I could see where there might be room for expansion and improvement. But overall, I really enjoyed the story that was set up here. Obviously, you can check out the game on Indiegogo and Steam. Make sure you check out the link in the description. Check out the campaign. Throw a few smackers that way. Because this looks like a... I've been kind of following this one ever since I first saw teaser images on Twitter. And the way this has come together so far, I really enjoy what they've got here so far. Let's say it's clear that there's some places that opportunities for expansion in the first case, but what they've set up here is really intriguing. For a world of magic, an ongoing class struggle, your typical corrupt legal system tying in with the ongoing class struggle, heavily weighted against the lower classes. But interesting quirks of how we have our prosecutor, Steelwind, who comes from a high-ranking noble family. Gave up what would essentially be a cushy military life to be a prosecutor. Is a part of what is essentially a corrupt system, but based on what interactions we had with her in the first case, she seems like a legitimately good person. That's going to make an interesting dynamic if we're starting off on relatively good terms with her. Also, intriguing dilemmas regarding the history of our mentor, who is heavily implied to have a dark and questionable past of her own. We have a crossing the line of magic is an quality inherent to nobles. We have Celeste, who may have been a discarded child of a noble. We have Tyrion's developing powers, which, in terms of really subtle storytelling, until he actually realized what he was doing, the little hints, yellow comments that he was hearing, the distortion on the screen. Essentially him not realizing he was reading someone's mind. And reacting to what they were thinking, as if they had said it aloud. All those bits were so well done, I genuinely wasn't sure. If he could hear that, if he knew he could hear it. Or whatnot, until it happened enough that it's like, okay, yeah, there's something definitely going on here. And the way it eventually came to a head and won in the first trial, I like that. I guess if anything, I was hoping for a little more of a confrontation with Pierce. But in the grand scheme of things, I like how that ended. And I wonder if there's plans to turn that into sort of a gameplay mechanic of sorts. Like if that's something Tyrion can get control over down the line. And harness to read someone's true thoughts during a testimony or something. I don't know. That's just me spitballing an idea I think would be cool. But then again, what I think is cool might be insanely difficult to work into a game and a mystery or such, but at any rate. Oh. Yeah, it's definitely... The world is really cool. I'm gonna say, from a case mechanics-wise, case one, there's room for expansion. It was pretty simple mystery-wise to figure out. Which is good for a case one. I'm gonna say... Some parts, maybe the pacing felt a bit too quick. For my liking. Like incredibly quick transitions between scenes and plot points and the like, but... But it works. Ultimately it works, and I really enjoyed that. And a really intriguing world. Some really intriguing characters. Really intriguing aesthetics. The art is beautiful. I'm gonna say, soundtrack, what we've heard of it, the soundtrack is relatively small, but the soundtrack's really good. I'm excited to see more. Hope you enjoyed as well. Check out the campaign on Indiegogo. Give them a follow. And wish them the best. And I wish them the best. Definitely looking forward to this one down the line. So until next time, until then.